Okay. Why 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 is creationism true and evolution wrong? Well, for starters, I'm completely biased. I know God exists. I've had spiritual encounters. Therefore, I'm coming from a position what an evolutionist can't come from. Evolutionists are stuck in a naturalistic thinking that does not actually know there is a God. I categorically know there is a God. I categorically know the Bible is telling the truth. Okay? So, from that perspective, I'm left with these worldviews to choose from. And there's a lot of different ways I can go. Since I have to, and I know there's a God, I'm spiritually being made aware of it, I have these views. Did God use evolution? Is there long ages, millions of years? Is the Bible then not correct, even though I know it is true what it says? Is parts of it wrong? Do I interpret because of some scientific belief brought by Darwin into the scientific community, an idea where he's been wrong on every single point, and every single his rationale for every single part of his theory has been debunked? As in, he used to believe that if you cut the arms off a person for generation after generation, that eventually people would be breeding and have no arms. He believed stuff like that. He had no real concepts of scientific concepts that we do. Okay, so he was so flawed in his thinking. Now he used to think that a giraffe came from a little a smaller animal, and it would stretch its neck up, and after doing that for generations, its neck would grow. Now we know that's garbage. It comes from DNA. That's where things are passed on. You don't have things passed on, traits that you do during your life. If I'm flexible and I just do all my life I do stretching, my kids are not gonna get that. It's not gonna be coded into my DNA. That's not how things happen. Okay, so anyway, he proposed that, and he proposed natural selection, etc., as the mechanism plus this thing. When that's failed. That's been debunked. Okay, so Darwin, why hasn't it gone by the roadside? It's because of an ideology he promoted. He was trying to give a way of not believing in God, and the world was happy to take it. Okay, it is a religion. It is a belief system in a religion. That's it, categorically. Now, you could argue with me and say, no, it's not, or you don't know what you're talking about. You're an idiot. You probably believe you could insult me as much as you like, but the Supreme Court in America has declared evolution as a religion. Okay, so argue with them about it. Maybe you're smarter than the judges of the Supreme Court who have ruled it as as a religion. Either way, it's a religion. Okay, get over it. You have a belief system. You believe in a singularity, a quantum fluctuation based on that's been caused by a parallel universe that caused the Big Bang to happen, that it then all spread out and made the universe. Billions of galaxies, billions of stars within each galaxy, all created from a singularity of so minute you can't see it. It's infinitesimal size. Yeah, you believe that. Okay, sure. It doesn't require any belief or faith, because it certainly doesn't require any science either, because no physics at all actually backs that. Okay, so you've got issues. Okay, so why not believe in a young universe? Why don't you believe in a young universe? Why do you believe in an old one? Because you're saying, oh, the distance from the sunlight, the stars from the other galaxies to get here. Well, hang on, let's look at this. Hubble discovered when he looked through the telescope that there was a redshift. Now that's a really easy scientific theory. When things are moving away, they start to shift to the red spectrum. When they're moving towards, they shift to the blue spectrum. Now he discovered when he was looking at through his telescope all around, he noticed all the galaxies were redshifting away from Earth. Now he could not handle the obviousness of that. So he had to say, we can't believe that we are special in the universe, that this place, this earth is special. We can't believe that. There's no way. If we start thinking that way, then we have to start thinking there's a God. Okay, so he said, well, we have to explain it some other way. And so there's elaborate physics being taught and theories come up with to try and come up with the fact that we seem to be located not in the center of the universe, but around the center of the universe, so everything looks that from our perspective in the center. So what they do is they say, oh, we'll put a coin. If you imagine a balloon that's blown up a bit, and you put coins all around it, and then you start blowing it all up. As it expands, everything is moving away from each other. Okay, they say that everything is expanding as it moves away from each other. That the galaxies and everything is expanding away from each other, and that's how they explain the redshifting. But they reckon that anywhere in the universe you are, if you look, out, you'll see the same as us. But that doesn't work. It's absolutely easy to disprove. In fact, I wish I had a piece of paper, because I could probably disprove it in seconds. But let's think of this. If the universe, we're looking out and we're seeing redshifting of galaxies moving away from us. Okay. Now apparently that's supposed to be the same in everywhere in the universe. Okay, the same phenomena, proving that we're not in the center. But if we're point A, this side of the universe, and then we go to the other side of the universe, point B, and they look out of their telescopes and they see all the red shifting planets away from them, and ours are looking out of our side of the universe looking at the red shifting from us, then yay, they're right. But that's not what would happen. If we're seeing the red shifting from us and they're looking at towards us, the galaxies that are moving away from us towards them would be blue shifting, so therefore it doesn't work. They would be seeing blue shifting galaxies, meaning they're not in the center. So the only way that you can see red shift is if you're near the center. Now I'm not, I believe in the combination and all that, and we're going around the sun. I'm not saying we're the center of the universe, but we're in our galaxy is in the center. It's just, there's no way around it. You can't jump through the hoops. You can't come up with any little physics or any other rubbish ideas, balloons expanding, all that. None of that can disprove it. We are in the center. There is a center. If there is a center, then that means there is an edge, and if that is right, then the whole Big Bang Theory is actually wrong. Because general relativity plus a bounded universe creates a different universal theory. Okay, it actually is more suited to a young universe theory. And you go, what? How did you get that? Well, time dilation theory. Time is affected by gravity. If gravity slows down time and we're in the center, then the center of near the center of the universe has the most gravity on it, means time in where we are is slow compared to time outside of the center as you move outwards. That means the edge of the galaxy has got time is going rapidly faster compared to where we are. But they can't tell the difference because it's normal to them. But as the millions and billions of years are ticking by in the outer rim of the universe, time is only going in thousands of years in the middle where we are. Okay? Giving starlight plenty of time to get to us. Okay, all easily explained. All physics. Hey, no magic required. No singularities. But see, the thing is, I believe God created the universe, okay? I believe He did it. I don't believe there was a big bang and all that. There might have been He might have done a big bang. He might have, I don't know how He did it. Bang! But all we know is, time dilation theory easily fits with a young universe. From where we are perspective. Okay. But even if time dilation theory, the whole thing, white dwarf and all that sort of stuff, the white hole and all that is all wrong, doesn't matter. The Bible has never been proven wrong, so it doesn't matter. Okay. Now you might go, oh, aliens put us here, because Genesis, oh, life evolves spontaneously. Scientists can't do it. If scientists can't do it, it's not going to happen naturally in a primordial soup. Okay, it's impossible. Darwin, as I said, was so flawed. He wasn't even a real scientist. He didn't even have any qualifications. Okay, so he's just just a regular guy coming up with a theory, and he's been wrong every time. The peppered moth. Let's have a look at the peppered moth. He comes up with peppered moth. He sees the different coloured moths and all that, and then they're changing their population. Okay, they change their population. He looks at the finches. Oh, they've got different beaks, and they change their population in different times. That is not evolution. That is just a variation within a species. Now, populations go up and down based on environmental issues. Yay! If the moths that are white get eaten more because they can't hide, camouflage themselves, then the population changes. Not evolution, they're not. They're just variations within the species. Are they evolving into other creatures? No, not at all. Are the finches evolving into different creatures? No, there is a variation. Look at dogs. Dogs all interbreed. Wolves, foxes, they can all interbreed, but there's such incredible variation in the genetic of the genomes of the dogs. And as they breed off and specialize, they're losing information. They're not evolving upwards into any other form. Okay, they're losing information as they breed. Evolution? No. De-evolution. Okay, all we see is genetics, genomes, genes, and de-evolution. When there's breaking away and losing information when they go and breed. Okay, that means there would have been a super dog at one stage. That would have had all the DNA of their species. And then as it's bred out and gone, and there's been all these variations, we've got all these massive types of dogs. Now, they're the same dog, same kind. It's the same thing. Okay, lots of species of dogs, but the same flippin' dog. They're not chickens. They're not turning into roosters or anything. Evolution. Now, natural selection can play a part in that. Which dogs survive? The ones with the short hair die in the cold when it's a big winter frost. Okay, and so did they evolve? No, they population difference. So what was Darwin seeing on Galapagos? He was seeing variation and population differences happening. Now, bacteria was put up by evolutionists. Oh, bacteria, yeah, immunity to what are they saying? Immunity to super bacteria, right? Yeah, it's evolving, getting immunity now to our I can't remember the name. Antibiotics. Okay, so apparently it's evolving immunity to antibiotics. Really? Okay. Hillary Clinton believes it. Lots of these people have been promoted. It's on the TV. Now, is it real science? Is it really happening? Is evolution happening before our eyes? No. It's so much bollocks. It's so lies. I don't know if evolutionists are purposely lying or they're just plain stupid sometimes. What I'm meaning is as stupid as in the obvious is right in front of them, but they can't see it because they're so blinded by their concept. Okay, they're so blinded by believing evolution, they can't possibly see the correct answers and what's actually happening. So they say, oh yeah, evolution is happening. These bacteria are becoming, immune to antibiotics. It's happening before us. We have proof of evolution happening. It is a fact. No, not at all. Categorically no. Hell no. Okay? So, Richard Dawkins, you can go suck eggs, man. You are a lunatic. Okay? Because I can tell you now, bacteria isn't evolving because they've done it, they've found out, they know it's not. They found in a bacteria that had been frozen in the permafrost from I think it was a shipwreck, and it was dated in the 1800s. Now they found bacteria still existing and alive, and you think, wow, how can that happen? Well, they found it. It was, okay? Just go and do some research on it. Now, they tested that bacteria, and within the population of that bacteria, some of it was was showing immunity to antibiotics. It hasn't evolved like our bacteria now. It was way, way back in history. It hasn't been exposed to bacteria to create evolve itself to become immune to it. It was there. So that means the recent bacteria, okay, that are becoming, apparently evolving to become immune, is just population difference. Just like the finches, just like the moths. That means you get a whole population of bacteria. Some of it has immunity to certain biotics in it. When you start using antibiotics on it, it kills off all the stuff that isn't immune, and it leaves what's it left. It's leaving the population part that had some immunity to it. It was already in there. It's variation within the bacteria. It wasn't evolving itself upwards or anything. It was already in there. And it's an ancient bacteria. Okay, so there's no evolution going on at all. It's not proof of evolution. It's not viewable. It's not verifiable. It's not repeatable. None of it is scientific. It is hogwash bollocks. But I think evolutionists love to try and promote their theory, to try and get any evidence out there in society to try and make out it actually exists. Again, no evidence for it. No observational evidence, nothing. Okay, so the reality is, why do people believe evolution? You have to believe in a singularity. You have to believe in quantum fluctuations with no actual reason occurring. You have to believe that when it exploded, there was somehow a difference in time in the explosion, so that because they have a problem with the distances of the light within the Big Bang Theory too. Okay, and they have to come up with these elaborate ways to try and work out why the light can reach and all that as well within their time frames. It's all very bollocks. Now, back in the day when they had the theories of how old is the Earth, and they're saying, well, we can't believe God created it, so how old is it? Well, the thing is, if God created it, all your other ideas are just crap anyway. They're bollocks from the beginning. Okay. As I said, I'm coming from this perspective of I know there is not just naturalistic, there is a God. Okay? So your theory, I know, is going to be flawed. You took out the answer to the equation. So now your equation, no matter how you jingle it, is going to be off. Okay? So you're trying to now go, oh yeah, the Earth. Okay, so how could it evolve without God? Okay? I'm a Christian who's saying, do I believe this crap, or do I just stick with what I know? I know there's a God. Do I believe the science bollocks that's trying to disprove there is one? Okay? When I know there is one. So obviously the evolution theory is wrong. Obviously, it's obvious. Could I be theistic? Why the hell would I go down that path? I already know there is a God. I categorically know. I know the Bible's correct. Okay? Evolution's just trying to come up with a way to try and not believe in God. And some Christians, for some reason, don't have a problem with it. They go, oh yeah, I believe evolution. You are just so don't have a clue. Either you don't have a real relationship with God, and it's just a mental acceptance. Okay. And so you'll fall for anything. I think you won't last very long in the Christian faith. That's what I believe. I think if you have you say you're a Christian, but you don't have a real relationship with God, well, you're doomed. Okay, you might as well believe that the world was made by Santa Claus, or that it was made by a giant bat dung or something. Because no matter what, if you've got no real relationship with God, then you're mentally stuffed anyway. You're doomed. Okay, so you might as well believe evolution, because you might as well believe any crap. Really, you're at that point. So if you're a Christian, what you need to be doing is sorting your shit out. You need to be sorting your relationship with God, getting a real relationship with God. Because if you're basing your life and your stuff on evolution that is trying to disprove God, then you're going in the wrong direction to begin with. Okay? Anyway, categorically believe the Bible. I have to. I know it's true. So, Bible's true, evolution's saying, did it evolve, I start looking at, okay, so Calvin says, the famous Lord Calvin comes up and goes, well, if we get a global, a planet, and we, all the mass, and it's all liquidy, molten, and it starts cooling, how old could it be? So he works out to about 20 million to 40 million. Okay. Now, he was trying to work it out again from God didn't make it. Now, but the thing is, that's ridiculous. Okay? He's coming from the wrong perspective. Evolution, though, said, nah, sorry, Calvin, you're actually not giving us enough time. And Darwin panicked and wrote things about, oh, Lord Kelvin's a real pain, real problem. He's only just using mathematics to disprove your stupid theory anyway. But still, 20 million years is bollocks. Our planet's 6,000 years old. How do I know that? Am I stupid? Am I absolutely mentally incompetent? No. The only reason we have old ages is Charles Liddell comes along and says, well, Darwin, I see you've got a bit of a problem. You've got this theory. We're all trying not to believe in God with you, so we'll help you out. Let's come up with some ideas. So they brainstorm. Charles Liddell comes up with the strata layers and says, oh, for every inch, it's 1,000 years, or is it every millimeter, it's 1,000 years it takes to form the strata layers. So he forms these different layers, gives them names, and says, this is how old this one is, this is how old, makes it all beautifully worked out, and he says, the fossils found in this one, at this age, and writes it all up and says, here you go, Darwin, you got the age that you needed for your theory to have any plausibility, because no one would believe in the princess kissing the frog and it instantly evolving into a prince. But if you chuck in a magic wand of 1,000,000 years, princess kisses the frog and it evolves into a prince in 1,000,000,000 years time. Yeah, well, there it is. The magic of impossible happening with time. Again, you don't believe you've got a religion. That is what I class as utter faith. And utter stupidity. Utter non-scientific. Okay? Now, Darwin, so what did what did they do? Scientific community do? Oh, Darwin's wrong. They're not stretching their necks and it's not carrying on when they breed later on. It's all in the genes. So what do? They come up with mutations. Okay, so small mutational changes over vast periods of time using uniformitarianism principles with remember the little millimeters taking thousands of years each one, okay, to form the strata layers. They have the time, they have the apparently impossible to become possible by mutations in the DNA, okay, and they go, haha, we're back in business. Our theory was utterly debunked, but now we've sort of saved our bacon, come up with a slightly modified, better version, and hey, we're good to go now. Prove us wrong, you Bible-believing idiots, okay? Again, evolution is trying to save its skin from absurdity. Okay, so what do we have? If you have a message, if I send a radio signal out, a DNA signal, like as in radio waves, a signal, message, just like we find in DNA, and I put interference with that message, does that mutate the message to become better? Does it add information to the message and make it better? No. The interference or the mutation to the message actually corrupts the message and makes it worse. It degrades it. Okay? That is basic information theory. Everyone knows that. Turn on a radio, plug in an antenna and work it out. Okay, simple. Now you have a message in the DNA. Now you're saying radiation causes mutations in it, and somehow is that improving the DNA? No. It's corrupting the actual message of the DNA. It's not improving it. Is it creating more information? No. It's corrupting existing information. So again, it's anti-science what you're preaching there. Your creation, there is no mechanism for small changes to get better and better. You're not going to get a simple cell that creates more information in it by mutations. It's going to ruin information that's already existing in a simple cell. It's never going to get better ones and make it evolve into something else and become a better thing. Where is the new information coming from? How is it getting better? Okay, it's not. I can't. You've got no mechanism for it. Evolution is debunked. It's got not a handle to stand on. You can't work out how to get from you can't get from elements to cells. You can't get from elements non-life to life. There is no spontaneous generation. It's a completely debunked idea. Okay? You believe it. There is no evolution proof scientifically for it. You've got not a leg to stand on scientifically. You are completely relying on faith. Let's be honest. Your faith is in a concept, an ideology that is anti-God, and you're just trusting that somehow the impossible of going from non-matter to living matter happened, even though there's not a thread of evidence or even a way for you to explain how that could possibly occur. Okay? The Miller experiment. Bollocks. We all know that. Let's be honest. So what are you doing? You're relying on your ideology to not believe in God. Well, I'm telling you straight, God is real. Okay? Your ideology is wrong. You're mentally blinded, and you're not looking at the obvious. You're not looking at life and the obvious. You're not looking at the sunset. You're not looking at the atmosphere. You're not looking at the water. You're not looking at the myriad of life and all of its beauty and seeing there is a beautiful creator. If you can't look at the beauty of creation and realize the creator must be beautiful, you are blinded beyond belief. Okay? You're trying to say non-intelligence can produce what intelligence can't produce? That non-intelligence is more powerful in making stuff than intelligence is? Okay? When everything we see that is being created by people took intelligence, and that's where we can see, that's the evidence that we can see. But then you're trying to say non-intelligence. When we look at nature, it is far more well designed and better than anything man can actually design. So you're trying to say non-intelligence is better at making things than intelligence. Okay, where are you coming from? That is mentally crazy. Okay? You were so blinded, but yet you're persistently holding on to concepts that have failed. Darwin has every single thing he put forward has failed. Darwinism is dead. Is dead. Okay? Okay, so I'm lucky. I'm lucky. I know God's real. Oh, lucky. Lucky me. I can look at these scientific arguments and laugh my head off that people can be so damn off track. Okay, what's sad is I think, what do I do about it? Now the thing is, I decided to research it because I thought, well, I should at least attempt to help these blinded individuals come to actually find out that there is a creator who loves them. I should try. Okay? But, wow, how stubborn are you? Some of you guys are stubborn. Okay, so I'm trying. Okay, so let's go. Age of the universe, time dilation. Okay, solved. Singularity, come on, let's not go there. You're just believing in magic, you're believing in myths and whatever, you're believing in rubbish, you didn't see it, there's nothing, you've got faith, that's it. You've got a hope, a dream that it happened that way. Okay, age of the earth. So they got 20 million years, and then this guy comes up with this 4.5 billion year old thing for the planet. What did he age? He used radiometric dating, which is so flawed, even the evolutionists are now writing that it's flawed, okay? That's what he used. Isotope, blah, 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 all this sort of dating things. And did he date the Earth? No. He dated meteor rocks. Meteors he dated, and that's how he got the age of the Earth. So it's just such a fallacy about this, 4.45 billion. They stick to it, though. Where's the integrity of science? We're evolutionists. Where is your integrity? You know he used a flaw concept of dating. He used the wrong rocks to date. He used the wrong model even, where it comes from. The rocks, apparently meteor rocks all formed together and all that to create the planet in the first place, but they'd all been cooled. Now we're believing in heat and all this. There's all that, he used the wrong model, the wrong concept, the wrong everything, the dating method. And you guys have not got any integrity to go and actually go back and actually say, well, yeah, let's look at this. Obviously this age is wrong. Why? Because it fits your belief system so well that you don't want to challenge the 4.5 billion. As long as it's above 3 billion and below 8 billion, you're You're not making it too old. If you make it 8 billion or older, then you're basically starting to make the Earth older than the universe, which is what the initial problem you had with Calvin. Calvin was dating it and saying, oh, this is how hot and cooling, 20 million to 40 million, and you're going, oh, that's actually, unfortunately, yeah, it's going to give us issues. So you go, it's too young, doesn't give us evolution, but we can't have it too old because we can't have it older than the actual universe around it. And so you're trying to balance out these things, but really you're just picking dates. You're not going with science. You're picking dates that fit your damn ideology. Okay? It's not science. Science is gone. Science is about creating technology and all these breakthroughs and all this. All this crap that you call evolution is none of it is science. It is ideology with a mask on and dating methods to back your stupid faith, your religious belief system. Okay? Let's face it. Let's face it. That's exactly what it is. Okay. So, you get your dates. Now let's look at biology. Biology is failing. Junk DNA, it failed. No evolution. They look at the genome and they go, all the sequence in the genome, and you should be able to look through our apparent ancestry to look at the same genome patterns. No, not there. DNA is proving, no, we're not evolving. We didn't evolve from others. They haven't got the same patterns as us. Okay? What about this chimp stuff? Oh, we're so close to the chimp things. Chimp genome is 13% larger, or is it 12% larger than the human? It's not close to us. They're wrong. Okay? There's been a lot of stuff that has been lied, public lies. Now, evolutionists have used those lies to benefit their thing, to promote it. But lies are lies, no matter what, okay? So, am I trying to lie to you? No. Go and research it. Do your research. Find out. I'm not telling you any bull at all. This is all public knowledge for anyone who actually searches and checks. Okay? So evolutionists are lying their asses off to try and get you to believe something that is just not true. Okay? Where are the ages? Where is the age of the Earth? Where is the billions of years they need? Mathematically, because of the DNA in our genome, and they used to think it only had 3% that was transcribed and all this and made into proteins, translated and made into proteins, RNA. What is it? It's the transcription from the DNA, then the splicing, then the translation into the RNA, and then the made into the what's that stuff called again? Proteins. Okay, so they've got all this they have this whole theory. Now that's been turned on its head. The genes have been read back and forth, they've been spliced, they've been reading from here, reading from here, reading from other chromosomes, mixing them together, making proteins from the same gene in different variations. It is far more complicated. It's not just 3%. They were saying, oh, it's 3% and all the rest is human junk DNA from evolutionary past and all that, proof for evolution. They're now saying 93% of that is actually regulation and all this stuff, and there's all these control stuff going on. We don't even know how it works. There's patterns within patterns. It's not just simple anymore. DNA is far more complicated than we ever assumed. The 5 billion years of evolution and mutation that evolution's been relying on, start doing some mathematical calculations. I think you'll find 5 billion years is actually not enough anymore. I think you're going to find that just by going from the human genome and working out the sequences, and as they start seeing the complexity of how impossible mutations to get that, and how many mutations do you have to get a second to get to where we are just for the human genome, I think you'll run out of time with even 5 billion years. And that's not looking at all the populations and all the taxonomy of all the animals in the world. All the mutations needed to get every species around right now, let alone the 99% that have actually died in the past. To get all that, the mutations within 5 billion years, impossible. Okay, impossible. Your theory hasn't got the time. Even you chuck 5 billion years at it, the special magic wand, You have not got the time. Okay? Now, paleontologists are saying, well, we haven't actually got any transitional forms between, creatures. There should be creatures that are half, like, little changes, mutations. Now, microbiologists saying, oh, you won't see it in the paleontology, you won't see it in the fossils because it's all happening internal. It's the genetic mutations inside. That's you won't see it. You won't see evidence of it. But you have to have evidence of it if it actually is happening from species to species. You can't just say it's all happening internally, because you can't get a flippin' reptile to change into a bird internally. There's cold-blooded to warm-blooded. There's all amazing differences internally. Yeah, but there's has to be some outworking in the fossil record. There has to be zillions of transitional fossils between species. Are there any? They've argued over two. Two! We're not talking between one form or another form. We're talking between every form, every creature. But we're not talking ape to man transitional fossils. We're talking every creature on the planet. We're talking from the lowest organisms, or what they say non-complicated, which is far more complicated, because Darwin, he could only see a black box. He could only see a black blur. He couldn't see any complexity within the cell structure. So he had no understanding of complexity. Simple cell, impossible. Cells are more complicated than a city. Okay? So, you get anything. Where is the transitional forms between anything? Plants, you have to have transitional plants. Between plants, you have to have mutation. You've got to have forms of plants evolving to other forms of plants. Okay, where are they? Where are they all? Animal to animal. Everything. Sea sponge to the next one. The raccoon to the next one. Where is any evidence for any of it? Now, paleontology, fossils have none of it. You look at a trilobite in the Cambrian layer. Now, it's apparently Cambrian layer, really, really oldest and all that. Now, that's bollocks, because it's all laid down rapidly. How do I know? Because the Cambrian layer has water ripples on the top of it. Water ripples. And little bird tracks on it. So it showed that they're like little birds walking on the sedimentary thing, and then another layer's gone straight over the top to quickly fossilize the tracks of the animals. So if there's water ripples, and it's been, otherwise the erosion would have taken the water ripples out. Okay, so it's gone bang, it's been sealed. It's happened rapidly. The Cambrian layer all the way up, all the layers have the water. All the layers have the little tracks and all that. Speaking of rapid burial, global flood, 71% water, layers of the rock, Cambrian layers. Okay, so you get trilobites in there, and the trilobites, what have they got? They've got trilobites in Australia. Go and look at a trilobite with its zillions of eyes and how amazing simple form in the Cambrian layer. It doesn't add up. Evolution has nothing to stand on. It has no simple life going up the rock layers to complex life. It has nothing. It is not there. The simple lives are alive. They're here. There's no evolution. There's no mutational evolution from them. They're the same creatures. And that's happened with every form you find in the fossil layer. The living form looks identical. The bees, the ants, everything, it looks the same. It hasn't evolved. There's no evolution. No evidence of evolution. No creature evidence of evolution. Okay, you're believing in an ideology. You're believing in something with no evidence. But evolutionists are so damn convinced of the ideology, they are not keeping up. Now, I talked to, talking a few weeks ago to a guy, and he was talking about vestigial organs, and he was saying, oh yeah, I got my son had his, he was a science person. He was saying, oh, my son had his appendix taken out. It's a vestigial organ illness, and millions of years evolution. And I went, bollocks. See, they're not even keeping up. The world has been so brainwashed by media and lies and bullshit for so long that unfortunately that crap and that misunderstanding and that whole evolutionary lies and all fallacies of science has actually been in society so long that society has not, it's still holding on to stuff that's been disproven years ago. Vestigial organs, the medical society has actually been doing operations on people based on evolutionary ideas. And the operations have been from evolutionary ideas. They're saying, oh, that there's an evolutionary throwback, it's a vestigial organ, you know, vestigial DNA, junk DNA, vestigial DNA from evolutionary past, being debunked. Okay, evolution just keeps throwing these same things round and round and round, and it all turns into bullshit, as usual. It's bullshit. Okay, problem is, people's lives have been operated on because of these bullshit ideas and concepts. So they start cutting out these vestigial organs, and they start doing all this stuff because of evolution. You don't need it. Tonsils, oh, there's no use, it's vestigial. That every single one of the 100 or so proposed vestigial organs has been proven to have a medical and a reason in your body. It's not some evolutionary throwback. It's actually well designed. Appendix has lymphatic nodes in it and holds bacteria when you're young, and it goes into your intestines. It's actually got a use. It's got a purpose. It's actually useful. It's been well designed. Okay, you actually take that away, and you're actually less functional, but you have to at some stage. It can burst and you die. So, but there are cases for it, but you can still survive. The adaptability that God's made in the system to be so incredibly flexible that we can handle so much stuff coming into our body, and our body will adapt and change, and it has amazing adaptability in it. Okay? So, but hang on, the appendix, no evolution throwback. No, tonsils, no evolution throwback. So they're just, but people are getting operated on under misconceptions. Evolution has actually done a lot of damage to actual people's lives. Not just racism, saying your race is less evolved than our race, which is what the Europeans were basically saying. Okay? And it's still believed. These evolutionists, what do you think? Who do you think Hitler was coming from? Where is he coming from? He's coming from evolution. Let's make a better genetic species. Okay, has that changed in thinking? No. Evolutionists, European evolutionists, are completely racist. They completely think they're more evolved than other races. Okay, it is in their thinking. Now, is there any difference between their DNA and your DNA? There is less than 1% difference. They're not any more evolved than you or anything. It's just such a superior racist type thinking. Okay, and so what has it done to society? It's caused medical operations that are wrong. It's called racism. Has it actually helped society? Has it actually helped science? No. Breakthroughs? No. It has only hindered society and the science. So many people, PhDs and people, have hung their hat on the stack of cards that is evolution, the millions of years base that is collapsible, and then say you're a psychologist, and then you say, well, my PhD my thesis will be on that the reason why people react this way is because of the monkeys, and we're inherited their violent reactions, and so the PhD thesis in psychology is built on some evolutionary idea that we're ancestors of not apes, but the descendants of where apes have branched off in us. Whatever bullshit you want to believe. Okay, so they write their thesis, and so all these people have hung their hats on evolution and had all these PhDs and all this, and it is, again, it's all lies. It's all bollocks. Evolution isn't true in the first place. So all these theories. So there's all these PhDs and all these people have written articles and all this stuff, and it's all gone nowhere because it's based on something that isn't true in the first place. Okay, so it has hindered science more than any other thing. It has hindered science. All the money and the scientific breakthrough that could have occurred had evolution just been debunked and then just move on. Okay, obviously it's not right. Okay, there is a creator. Okay, let's find out how he did it. How did the creator do this? How did the creator do that? Let's actually analyze the stuff he's done. Let's look at some of the stuff. Instead of fighting against the Creator, why not work with Him? Actually, let's try and have a communication with the guy. But you evolutionists are so, oh, we don't believe there's a Creator, we don't believe there's a Creator. Okay, when we're looking at genetics, we're not going to believe it looks like design. Even though it looks like design, we're going to say it. Even though it looks completely like design, we're going to remind ourselves, it's not design, it's not design. Okay, that's what you are taught, your textbooks actually say. When you always keep in mind when you're doing genetics, that even though it looks like design, it is not designed. The fact that you have to put it in your textbooks to remind yourself that of that proves you're in trouble. Okay? You are fighting against yourself. You could actually have a relationship with the Creator and actually be a scientist for Him. Actually, ask Him, what kind of breakthroughs do you want me to discover? Okay, work with the guy. Okay, instead of against him, trying to tear him down. I don't want to believe in you so much. Why not actually get to know the nice guy who gave you an existence? Actually find out about the guy and actually get on with him and actually, admit defeat. Bow your knee to him. Jesus isn't a bad guy. He's showing compassion. He shows, I forgive you. I'll even die for you. He's not a bad guy. He's a good Creator. We don't have to. We shouldn't have a negative or be afraid. Go to Him. If you're a scientist, go to Him and actually change your life. Okay? Change your view. Change the way you're doing things. Okay? Don't waste your entire life and then one day, as I already know exists, one day you will stand before Him and give an account of your life, and you'll have to actually say, well, I fought against you my entire life. My life was meaningless when it could have had meaning. You're going to have to give an account for all the deceptions, the lies, and the rubbish that you've taught the world, and how destructive concepts that you've been promoting, okay? Fighting against your Creator. You're going to have to stand before Him. I already know He exists. Okay, so I've got to think, okay, I'm going to stand before Him as well. Hey, I better make sure I'm going to have to sort out any shit I've got in my life too. Okay? But you're going to, okay? You're going to have to do it. And your naturalistic thinking is going to be gone as soon as you die. You'll realize, oh my goodness, there is a spiritual world. Oh my goodness. That weird lunatic on YouTube was right. Okay? Anyway, not that I haven't tried to warn you.